Sex is awesome, right? Wrong. Turns out sex might be great for everyone except Grandpa. If thinking of your grandparents having sex is weird, just remember, you'll be that age someday, so listen up, you old boners. Hi everyone, it's Jackie, and I'm here to tell you that you should definitely have sex. Okay, we're not medical doctors, and you shouldn't necessarily take our advice on that, but there are many studies out there detailing the health benefits of sex. Although, if you're an older guy hitting the town, you might want to simmer a little. The Journal of Health and Social Behavior recently published a study about the effects of sex on older people, specifically between the ages of 57 and 85. It showed that older men who had sex at least once a week ended up much more likely to later experience cardiovascular events, like a heart attack or stroke, than men who were sexually inactive. Researchers also found increased levels of hypertension, rapid heart rate, and elevated C-reactive protein, which would indicate inflammation in your body. But this didn't hold true for women. They did not see these same risk factors, and in fact, women who reported having enjoyable sex actually ended up with lower risk of hypertension 5 years later than those who didn't enjoy themselves. Hypertension is a fancy scientific way of saying high blood pressure. Turns out, men and women aren't the same. For example, when experiencing stress, and yes, sex can be a stressor, men are more likely than women to report increased blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and heart attacks. This happens because the male body responds to cardiovascular stress by increasing vascular resistance, which is the force that opposes blood flow. This can lead to an uptick in blood pressure, but these changes don't seem to show up until the sun is going down on your life. However, the female body responds with an increased heart rate, therefore an increased amount of blood that the heart is pumping. And this may explain why some older women end up experiencing decreased hypertension if they remain sexually active. Scientists theorize that since older men may have to exert themselves more than younger men, the increased activity could create more stress on their cardiovascular system while trying to climax. So medications like Viagra may not be as helpful as you think. Now, before you start thinking that the 40-year-old virgin may have the right idea, remember that sex can also be healthy and good for you. Whew. The older men in that study who had sex, but less frequently, only 1 to 3 times a month, actually had lower risks of certain cardiovascular disease factors. So the amount of exertion matters. Another study out of Harvard showed that men in general who ejaculated 21 or more times per month had a 33% lower risk of prostate cancer. There's also research showing that sex can improve your mood, your quality of sleep, minimize your stress levels, help you look younger, and who are we kidding? It's just fun. So, if you're an older man having sex, you might want to watch yourself. But if you're a woman at any age, I say, get it, ladies! Now, if you want to get more of this face, head on over and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Newsy News. Sometimes I even find funny things to say about sex. Speaking of sex and having fun with it, CNN ran a story about a younger couple who had sex for 365 days. Tiring? Possibly. Awesome? Most definitely. So, given how much energy is involved in sex, is sex actually exercise? Good news! We covered that in this video here.
According to their data, jogging burns 276 calories in 30 minutes for men and 213 for women. That's about 9.2 and 7.1 calories per minute for each respectively. A 25-minute sexual session, on the other hand, that's only going to burn about 100 calories for men and 76 for women.
What else do you want to know about sex? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to DNews so you can watch new episodes every day of the week.